Hey everyone, it's Angela, and I'm here to recap a Scream Season 2, Episode 1 called I Know What You Did Last Summer. Does anybody remember those movies? I loved the first movie. It was so amazing. I think it came out in the 90s. But anyway, let's get into the recap for this episode, shall we? So, I just have to say that I absolutely love how Noah is doing the recap. I just, I don't know. I just love Noah. I love all his conspiracies. His voice just cracks me up. I mean, he's probably my favorite character on the show, hands down. And so I thought that was really interesting that he was doing it and kind of like filling us in because he's the one that gets so enthusiastic about it. And I thought that that was a great choice because it was making me really pumped about the episode. And just first impressions, going off of this recap, okay? Just very first thing that I thought was, obviously we know there's going to be a second killer, and it's more than likely not going to be Audrey. I was thinking it's going to be Brooke. So I'm just hedging that and throwing that out there right now. Just from the previously on screen bit, Brooke seemed to have so much crap happen to her, and yet she's still alive. And I'm just like, all right, Brooke, all right. Anyway, we go into the show with like this super intense scene. This crazy lady's running around her house looking for her cat, and the stairs to her attic are just mysteriously down. She goes up there, and I'm like, who the hell is this dumb bitch? Because, hello. But we find out that it is actually a movie that's playing at the theater where Audrey works. And she gets this text and it's from an unknown number. She asks who it is. They reply, it's her conscience. And they're asking her if they're going to Emma's welcome home party. And Audrey's like, this isn't funny. And the person replies with, no, it's not funny. It's dead serious. So that's the whole theme throughout this episode is that Audrey is getting blackmailed by this unknown person that knows she had correspondence with Paige and knows things that were going on. There is this chick in the theater, and they kind of set Audrey up, her and her friend, that her friend is wearing the ghost face mask, and they go after her. She stabs him with an ice pick in self-defense, thinking it's the killer. It's not. They're just playing some really crazy, messed up trick on her, and yeah. There's a new sheriff in town, by the way, kids. There's a new sheriff, which I miss the old sheriff, and he's also brought a son. What is it with the sheriffs in this town bringing their kids in? Like, can they not just be there from the get-go? They just gotta come in. But anyway, his kid is a total creep. But the sheriff says, she was acting in self-defense. I'm not going to arrest her, and you were videoing this, so there's more evidence for her in the civil trial. He's like, just walk away, kid. Just, go. But I actually like the sheriff because he seems to relate to people, and yeah, that was really nice. So Emma is back from going nuts. We find out that she had a mental breakdown at school and has taken, did they say 3 months off? You guys will help me if I'm wrong, but I know she's taken quite a bit of time off of school. She thinks that she's going to come back and all of her relationships will still be there. Kieran kind of gives her the cold shoulder, though, and I was like, ooh, burn, Emma, burn. But at the same time, Emma's not the only one that goes through crap, okay? Okay. Like, Kieran's dad died. That was heartbreaking for me because I loved him. And, I don't know. I just think she needs to put herself in other people's shoes. Yeah, it's like his dad. That was his dad, and he died, and his guts were everywhere. Kind of like, I don't want to knock it because I really, really liked the movie series, with the exception of the fourth one. But in the Scream movies, at certain points, not all the time, because I felt like they were very conscientious about portraying it, but at certain points, I felt like Sydney played I'm the poor victim. No one else is going through this. However, most of the time, she was very aware that Gail and Dewey were right there beside her and that this was going on to other people as well, even though it was centered around her. In Scream, the TV show, I feel like right now, Emma is just like, oh, this happened to me. And then toward the end, she starts, to realize, no, this happened to us. So that was very nice to see. And Noah wants to interview her for the podcast. I guess he took it over from Piper, which is all right then. It's called The Morgue. I did not remember that from season 1, but anyway, moving on. And they have dubbed the term for the 6 remaining survivors is the Lakewood 6. Noah made it up. Emma tells him that she has never listened to his podcast. And I was like, wow, what a bitchy thing to say. And then Audrey gets a call from the killer, and he saw her at the theater with the ice pick. He's kind of blackmailing her a little bit more there. Okay, so Emma decides that she's going to spend the night with Kieran and tells him that she feels safe with him. And I'm just like, that's a big mistake, because have you ever seen the first Scream, Emma? Didn't Sydney feel safe with Billy? I mean, look where that happened. You know what I mean? Right now, Kieran is like one of my least suspected people. So, I really not reading so much into that statement. But then I heard it and I'm like, ooh, something to file away for later, because I don't trust anybody in this show. I don't even trust Emma in this show. Like the end clip said, trust us and then trust nothing. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So yeah, he is pretty low on my suspect totem pole, but I'm not putting it past him. So the new sheriff's son is really fucking creepy, you guys, and he is sitting in class getting really involved with this horror movie conversation that Noah has going on in their psychology class. And all the while, he's just drawing his little picture, and then it finally shows his little picture, and it's Emma with, like, this huge bloody hole in her head. Where do they get these people? Seriously. Like, is there a mental hospital 5 minutes down the road? I mean, come on. This kid was creepy, okay? Okay. I don't even remember his name. But we also get introduced to Zoe, and I'm not sure if she's going to be a main part of this season or not. I don't know. I got some killer theories that I'll tell you guys at the end. I feel like I'm getting rambling. I'm sorry, but it's late, and I didn't realize Scream came on that late. Anyway. Audrey gets another threatening message. No one wants to go to the cops, and Audrey's like, no. But the text message said there will be blood consequences, and I'm like, ooh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? We see things happen with Jake this episode, but would that really be a blood consequence for Audrey, or do we think something more personal is gonna happen to her? Because Audrey and Jake aren't really that close. I think yes, of course she would be upset if he died. Like, I would be upset if my, strange neighbor that I've known casually dies, but it'll be no skin off her back. So if the killer goes after Noah, we won't, no. Okay, so we go and we see that Jake is trying to fix things for Brooke and her dad because Brooke breaks up with him, and he gets hit in the head with this bat. And I write in my notes, I'm like, I'm not believing it unless I see a body, because all these shows like to fuck with your head, like Pretty Little Liars, The Blacklist, spoiler alert, even though I called it, shows that bring people back from the dead. They like to mess with your mind. And so I'm like, I don't believe it unless I see a body. And we did see a body, but he wasn't dead. He was in this barn and trying to break out. There was a sign that said, see what you can do with this boy interrupted. And that was one of the he made a reference to Girl Interrupted at Emma's welcome home party. So this plays into my killer theory. I think that it is one of the Lakewood 6. And right now I'm looking at Brooke. Really strongly looking at Brooke. Okay. My throat is so scratchy right now. But there are cameras everywhere, so we're going to continue this social media sensation. And I'm really surprised that no one found out about his death this episode, because he breaks out of this barn, and then the killer's right there and kind of shoves him back in, hangs him upside down, and slices him with a scythe. Is that what you call it? You know the thing the Grim Reaper uses? I don't know. Jake was one of my favorite characters, and I'm really bummed because I did enjoy him. He was like the comedic relief, him and Noah, and I just loved the two of them, but I really did enjoy Jake's character. He was just this goofball, and he had like a little bit of character development, and I was really excited to see where his character would go this season, but obviously it's not going anywhere. And, it could be a woman that did that. Like, seriously, because that's a mighty instrument. And if you swing it, it's going to do a lot of the work for you. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to get tunnel vision on Brooke. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think is the killer? Okay. So, Noah is talking to Audrey, and he thinks that the accomplice is the one blackmailing her. And Audrey's like, no, 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 no. Piper did not have an accomplice. It was not me. She didn't say that out loud. But she's like, no, no, Piper did not have an accomplice. You need to drop this. And he's like, no, she had to have. So, yes, he's going to be just sleuthing it up this season. And I am really excited. I want a more detailed look at Noah's murder board because I'm really interested in that. Emma wants to help Kieran. She's finally realizing that this did not just happen to her. After talking to Brooke, she realizes that Kieran is broken. Brooke has told her he can't even go into his dad's room. Like, he's just devastated, and so she decides that she's going to help him, and they're going to get through this together. And she also agrees to go on Noah's podcast. And while there, she sees a picture of this place that she's dreamed about, where she was a little girl, and she ran into this barn and started playing in like guts when she was a little kid. It was really nasty, like intestines and stuff like that. But she sees the picture of the farm that she's been dreaming about, and Noah tells her that it is Brandon's brother Troy's pig farm, he believes. So Emma takes Brooke to the pig farm at like 4:30 in the morning when it is pitch black and creepy. And she goes in. There's nothing there. I was convinced that Jake was going to be there, to be honest with you guys. And I was like, all right, they can save Jake. They can do it. They can save him. He wasn't there. So there's nothing there. She turns around, and there's a house right there with, like, light coming from a television. She's like, oh, does someone live there? Let's go check that out. This... No. And so she goes to the house, and she's looking around. She sees this shrine of herself, which is creepy. There are pictures of her all over this wall, and I'm just like, okay. And some newspaper articles about the Lakewood Six, and she turns around, and there is the killer, and she screams, and that's where the episode ends. And Brooke is outside, because Brooke is pretty smart. She's just waiting for Emma. But yes. And all of you that are going to doubt my Brooke is the killer theory, she could have had help. She could have had somebody dress in that costume. Just throwing that out there. I'm not going to fall into logistical traps, I guess. I don't know. Okay, and then also someone found Audrey's letters to Piper and has hung them all over the bathroom at the movie theater where Audrey works. Last season, Audrey burned her letters, and so I think that this is someone that is close to Piper and knows what Audrey had a hand in with Piper. Obviously, the whole town is kind of divided right now. Some people are like, the girls did what they had to do, and then based on the people that commented on Noah's website, they're like, oh, well, Audrey's a killer, and Nina should still be alive over Audrey, and that really hurts her, but yeah. Okay, so yes, I know that was all over the place, and I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've recapped Scream, but I'm so excited that it's come back on. So right now, I really don't have any strong theories, other than I think it's Brooke. I can't tell you why, guys. I'm sorry. You know that I like to do complete theories for you guys, especially if you watch my Pretty Little Liars or previous Scream videos. I like to be in-depth as I can, but it's episode 1, and I really can't think of anything off the top of my head. Another theory I had, which a lot of people are going to have, and I don't think it's going to be right, is that Emma may be the killer because she did go insane. Like I said, I'm kind of doubting that theory, but I want to know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below. Feel free to let me know, who you think the killer is, who you think will be the next victim. I'm just really excited to see where this season goes. And the only death that I will not be ready for at all is Noah. I didn't think that I would be able to handle Jake's death, but now that it's happened, I'm like, all right, if that's over, it's okay. We're moving on. But if they kill Noah, all hell's gonna break loose. And if Noah's the killer, because that will really shock the crap out of me. I don't think they'll make that happen though, because Audrey and Noah are so close, and I just don't see it coming from the same social circle, if you will. I know they're all one big social circle, but I really don't see, people that close working together and then being that close out in the open. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyway, that's all for my Scream recap. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.